As I leaned over to kiss Mom, you wouldn't believe what happened. The cover of my milkshake fell off, and the milkshake splattered on the white dress. Suddenly, a blood-curdling screech filled the room.
Oh, what did you do to my dress? I paid $5,000 for this dress. You better hope this stain comes out, doofus.
Don't you dare talk to my mother that way, you spoiled brat!
I'll talk to your mother however I choose.
With my fists clenched, I stepped towards Debbie.
What is going on here?
They ruined my dress for tonight. Daddy, fire her.
Mr. Langston looked at the dress that Mom held in her hand, then at the milkshake in mine.
Mr. Langston, I can
Mrs. Pierce, I think it's time you left.
Mom nodded, and without another word, she exited the room, and I followed closely on her heels. Hi, my name is Kylie, and I'm from Costa Rica. Please like and subscribe to our amazing channel. I grew up with a single mom who worked as a maid at the Langston Mansion for over 10 years. Now, thanks to me, Mom was fired. I apologized to Mom a million times, and each time she said it wasn't my fault. But I knew she was just saying that so I wouldn't feel bad. Mom now worked multiple jobs, which meant she was hardly ever home. I insisted that I'd get a job to help her pay the bills, but Mom wasn't having it.
Kylie, we spoke about this already. I want you to focus on school. Let me worry about the bills.
I decided I would study my butt off to make my mom proud. A few months later, I was super excited when I got a scholarship to college.
I can't believe we got into the same college.
My best friend Heidi squealed into the phone. Heidi and I met on the playground in kindergarten, and we've been friends ever since. College will be amazing. We can change our boring high school personalities and spice things up a bit. Now is the time for a change. New school, new me. The night before college, I was so excited that I barely slept. On the first day, as soon as Heidi and I stepped onto the campus, I got a shocker. Surrounded by a group of girls, stood Debbie, soaking up the attention. I groaned.
Over 60 colleges to attend, and you and Debbie choose the same one?
This can't be happening! As Heidi and I walked past, Debbie shouted,
Hey, maid's daughter. I didn't expect to see you at college. I thought you'd be with your mom, carrying on the family business, being a peasant.
I'm surprised to see you here too, Debbie. We all know you didn't get the grade to attend this college, and Daddy paid extra for you to get in. I smirked as I walked past, and Heidi couldn't control her laughter, which got her a cold stare from Debbie. The first few days of college were okay. Every time Debbie saw me, she made a snide remark, but I retorted to keep things even between us. However, after the first week, something happened that unhinged my very soul. As Heidi and I sat in the cafeteria devouring our lunch, someone walked into the cafeteria and I cringed. Is that Mom? She wore a janitor's uniform and pushed a bucket and mop in front of her. This couldn't be happening. How was I going to be a new person with Mom hanging around the school in a janitor's uniform? College was supposed to be a fresh start for me.
Maid's daughter, is it bring your mother to work day?
Debbie pushed her lunch tray off the table, then placed her hand over her mouth.
Oopsies.
Anger boiled in me as I watched Mom clean up Debbie's mess while her friends laughed. I walked over to Debbie and grabbed a fistful of her clothing in my hand.
Kylie, let her go now.
But, Mom, she...
Kylie.
I let go of Debbie's clothing, and I walked away and didn't look back. I vowed that one day I'd make Debbie pay. Who did she think she was? I decided to go to the campus library to get some studying done. At least that was one place I knew Debbie didn't plan on visiting.
Hi.
I looked up, and my eyes fell on the cutest guy I'd ever seen.
I saw what happened back there. Debbie sucks.
Thanks. Debbie can be so cruel sometimes. It's infuriating. Are you a freshman?
No, I'm a junior. My name's Justin.
Nice to meet you, Justin. I'm Kylie. Over the next 30 minutes, I sat there glossy-eyed, soaking in every word that Justin said. We loved the same movies, and we both have an obsession with fine art.
Hey, maybe I can take you to the art gallery sometime?
I'd love that.
But until then, I'd love it if you came to my birthday party this weekend. I'll send a car over for you.
Can I bring my best friend, Heidi?
Sure. The more the merrier. I've got a class, so I gotta run. Later.
I smiled and waved at Justin as he walked away. I couldn't believe that Heidi and I just got invited to our first college party! On the night of the party, Heidi got dressed at my house. The doorbell rang and I answered it.
Good evening, madam. I'm here to pick up Miss Kylie and Miss Heidi.
A personal driver? Justin must be rich. Heidi and I waved at Mom as we exited the house. About 30 minutes later, the chauffeur spoke up.
We have arrived.
We were escorted to the back of the house where there was a pool and the party was in full swing. I scanned the crowd, spotted Justin, and gave him a little wave. My heart fluttered as he waved back and walked over.
Hey, ladies. Kylie, I'm glad you could make it. Do you want to dance?
Before I could accept, Debbie interrupted us.
We hired the cleanup crew for after the party, not during janitor's daughter.
Give it a rest, Debbie.
My dearest brother, mingling with the help is not a good look for us.
Brother!
He didn't tell you. He didn't tell her because, like everything else, you are irrelevant.
And with that fire comeback, Heidi pushed Debbie into the pool, and the party fell silent for a few seconds. Justin was the first one to break the silence when he burst into laughter, which was immediately followed by that of his friends. Debbie got out of the pool and glared at us. Angrily, she pushed her way through the crowd and into the house. When she was out of sight, Justin offered his hand.
Let's dance.
Over the next 2 weeks, Justin and I got to know each other a lot better. One day during lunch, Justin asked me out on a date and I accepted. I couldn't believe it! Justin wanted to go out on a date with me! On the night of the date, we went to dinner, then to an art gallery before we took a stroll hand in hand under the moonlight by the beach. By the time he walked me to my door, it was close to midnight. I had a really great time tonight.
So did I.
Our eyes met, and Justin leaned closer to me. I closed my eyes and leaned forward nervously, anticipating his lips on mine. But the kiss never came. Not on my lips, anyway. Justin kissed me on the cheek.
I'll see you tomorrow at school, okay?
Too stunned to speak, I nodded and entered the house. I went straight to my room and called Heidi and told her about my date.
Maybe he didn't want to take it too fast.
I guess.
I'm sure you'll get to the kiss you're longing for in no time.
I hope so, because I really like him. Heidi and I chatted for over an hour before we said goodnight. I slipped into a peaceful sleep, totally unprepared for what the next day was about to bring. The next morning, I was excited to get to school to see Justin. I was about to turn the corner in the hallway when I heard Debbie and Justin speaking. What I heard made my heart bleed.
Look, I played your silly game. Now pay me the money that you owe.
I can't believe you actually got her to go on a date with you.
The girl was so desperate that she'd go on a date with anyone in her tacky thrift shop dress. Ugh, that date was the worst date I've ever had.
I stepped out from behind the wall. So playing with someone's feelings is a joke to you? I slapped Justin across the face and Debbie gasped. You jerk! And you? Stay away from me! I stormed off and went to the girls' bathroom and had myself a good cry. That was the worst day of my life. But then, something happened that night that turned my mood around. I was completing some assignments when Mom burst into my room.
Kylie, I won the lottery.
What?
I won $10 million.
The next few days felt surreal. Mom resigned from work and decided to open her own company. Heidi and I went on a shopping spree, and Mom and I moved into a new neighborhood. She even bought me a new car. But even though I had money to buy anything I wanted, I actually still enjoyed going to thrift shops. One particular visit gave me the advantage that I was looking for over Debbie.
Mom?
I watched as Mrs. Langston searched through the clothes on the rack and held a few dresses against Debbie.
My friends are getting suspicious. I can't keep getting these cheap clothes and trying to pass them off as designer wear. Well, honey, your dad filed for bankruptcy, and until we get back on our feet, these stores will be your new best friend.
Mrs. Langston walked away, and Debbie stomped her feet frustratedly. I walked around the clothing rack and Debbie's eyes widened like a frightened deer. She looked utterly mortified. I'll see you on Monday. As I approached my locker early Monday morning, Debbie was waiting, and she looked extremely nervous.
Look, about what you saw on Saturday?
Honestly, I'm surprised. You always strut around like some kind of princess, as if you're above us all. I wonder what everyone will say when I tell them you're broke.
Please, you can't.
I can and I will!
Don't do anything.
Good. I'm glad you said that. I dropped my books into Debbie's arms. From now on, you do every single thing I tell you. Got it? Over the next few days, I made Debbie my personal maid. She washed my car, did my laundry, and ironed all of my clothes, and did my chores at home, including cleaning my room. A few days later, as I was looking through some cute rings at the kiosk, Debbie groaned as she struggled to hold my shopping bags.
Are we done yet?
You're done when I say we are. Or do you want me to tell everyone at school that you're broke? I heard a gasp from behind us and I spun around. There stood Debbie's friends, their mouths open in shock.
You're broke?
Debbie stepped toward them, but they turned up their noses at her and walked in the other direction. Debbie dropped my bags and ran away crying. Once I gathered my bags, I went in search of Debbie. I found her outside by the car park. Debbie, I'm sorry.
Sorry? You got a chance to humiliate me and took it.
Me? Maybe if you weren't such a witch when you had money, people may have treated you better when you lost it.
And maybe if you didn't have any, you wouldn't be the witch that you are now.
Debbie got up and walked away. As I sat there and contemplated her words, I felt terrible. I had turned into someone I no longer recognized. I was totally disappointed with myself. The following week, neither Justin nor Debbie was at school, and talk about them losing their money was the main gossip of the whole class. That afternoon, after giving it a lot of thought, I went to Mom for help. I told her everything. Mom sighed heavily.
What you did to Debbie was wrong, but I'm glad that you realized that. And you're willing to help? I'll give Mr. Langston a call.
Not only